Bill O'Reilly here, Tuesday, June 9th, 2020. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening across our nation. Joe Biden opposes calls to defund the police. Shooting spike in New York City. Chicago witnesses the deadliest day in 60 years. Top editors at two left-wing newspapers quit under pressure. George Floyd is eulogized in Houston. Also ahead, what may happen if Joe Biden wins in November. But first, the former vice president refusing to back left-wing demands to cut funding for police activities. But his campaign insists Mr. Biden, quote, shares the deep grief and frustration of the protesters. New York and Los Angeles already announcing plans to move resources away from law enforcement to finance new social service programs which have failed in the past. Homicides in the Big Apple jumped last week compared to the same period last year. The NYPD confirming 40 people were shot in the city, 13 fatally. That's a 100% increase from June 2019. At least one incident was linked to looting during the protests. Chicago saw the most murders in a 24-hour period in 6 decades. 18 people were shot dead on May 31st, the highest number since 1961. The homicides occurred while thousands of residents protested the death of George Floyd, so police were diverted. The senior editor at the Philadelphia Inquirer announcing his resignation, Stan Wisnowski, stepping down after reporters at the newspaper protested a headline that said, "Buildings matter too." Also, an opinion editor at the New York Times forced out for publishing an op-ed from Republican Senator Tom Cotton. The far-left purge in the media is now underway. Somewhere Stalin is overjoyed. George Floyd laid to rest in Houston. Thousands have mourned him in person, including Joe Biden. President Trump, of course, could not attend the funeral because some would surely disrespect him, and that would diminish Mr. Floyd's day. In a moment, do you understand what is really at stake in November's election? We will spell it all out next. Edward and his wife, Margaret, were looking forward to retirement. Edward started having serious health issues a few years before he turned 65 and had to take an unplanned early retirement. The loss of income and medical bills meant Edward could not afford his expenses, including the premiums on a $1 million life insurance policy. Faced with lapsing their policy for nothing, Edward and Margaret turned to Coventry Direct and were able to sell the policy for $130,000. If you own a life insurance or term policy that you don't need or can't afford, Coventry Direct can help you receive an average of 4 times more cash than you'd get from your life insurance carrier. You can even sell a portion of your existing policy and still maintain coverage with no future premium obligations. See if you qualify. Please call 1-800-888-3791 or visit CoventryHelpsSeniors.com. That's 1-800-888-3791 or visit CoventryHelpsSeniors.com. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. Donald Trump versus Joseph Biden. The insufferably arrogant columnist George Will is demanding President Trump be removed from office for a variety of offenses that make Al Capone look like Shirley Temple, if anyone remembers the good ship Lollipop Girl. Will is an elitist D.C. Republican who sees Mr. Trump as a Visigoth that doesn't know which fork to use. Since Will is syndicated by the ferociously anti-Trump Washington Post, his bread remains buttered. So Curious George wants Joe Biden to be the next president, even as he watches violent anti-American behavior hurt thousands of citizens and actually kill some of them. Question: will surrendering to the activist mob improve this country? Will Mr. Biden stand up to the destroyers? Not a chance. Despite being clouded by his hatred for Donald Trump, George Will has to know that Joe Biden will never challenge Black Lives Matter or other groups that want to destroy the fabric of the nation. Under the banner of social justice, the radicals are now making gains, which would only accelerate under a woke President Biden. If the former vice president does win the election in November, here's what we the people can expect. Many criminals will not be punished and will be released after arrest with no bail. That's because nonviolent offenses like possession of heroin with intent to sell are now considered crimes caused by white society or something. The police, not lawbreakers, will be suspect, and in some places like Minneapolis, traditional law enforcement will be replaced by holistic policies. Our politically correct culture will vastly expand. All men accused will be guilty. All those who oppose liberalism will be branded bigots. Due process will disappear. Some college campuses will even ban non-liberal speech. Virtue signaling, not facts or reason, will dominate education. Taxes will rise along with entitlement spending. That'll strangle the economy, which will be increasingly regulated by the federal government in order to combat climate change. A wealth tax will be passed, the first step in a program that would allow federal seizure of private assets. That's something the socialists must have in order to impose a just society. Not all Democrats are socialists, but many of them are. Illegal immigration will be accepted. Amnesty for undocumented people a certainty. Sanctuary places that shield foreign criminals will continue their lawless conduct. Abortion, anytime, any reason, be funded by the taxpayers. If you object on religious or moral grounds, you'll be branded a misogynist. I could go on, but you get it, I'm sure. A President Biden will do what the far left wants him to do. Mr. Biden has changed just about every core belief he's ever held. And despite his excoriation of the Trump administration, has no solutions to problems. None. George Will's personal animosity towards Donald Trump overrides all that I mentioned. So here it is. Traditional America is under siege. One presidential candidate will fight that. One presidential candidate will not. See you in November. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message by actually writing it. For more news analysis, fair and honest, please go to BillO'Reilly.com. In a moment, something you might not know. Working from home is causing the worst type of cybercrime, home title theft. While we're doing everything from working, banking, shopping in the house, cybercriminals are targeting our homes. They want the money they can get by taking out loans against the house. The crime is called home title theft, and the FBI is warning all homeowners. Home Title Lock protects your home from cyber thieves. Your home's legal title is online. Thieves can find it and forge your signature stating you sold your home to them. Then they take out loans and leave you in debt. Banks, insurance, and basic identity theft services do not protect you. Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier around your home's title. So please go to HomeTitleLock.com and register your address to see if you are already a victim. You can use the code BILL for 30 free days of protection. That's code BILL at HomeTitleLock.com. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. Santa Monica, California, known for its sandy beaches, big waves, famous residents like Tom Cruise. Last week, rioters seized control of the famous beachside community. Within 5 hours, hundreds of businesses were destroyed, the county courthouse covered in Black Lives Matter graffiti. All the while, the Santa Monica Police Department stood by and watched. California's Governor Gavin Newsom had to send in the National Guard to restore order. Then the Department of Sanitation deployed dozens of workers to clean up the damage. Enraged locals are now demanding the firing of the police chief, Cynthia Renaud, launching an online petition that has already gained more than 60,000 signatures, a tidal wave for a small town. Renaud defending her decision to have the police stand down against the looters, saying, quote, We were successful at maintaining order. Broken windows can be replaced and buildings can be repaired. That, of course, is dereliction of duty. Put my name on the petition. Ms. Renaud is paid $250,000 a year to protect the city of 90,000. Perhaps she should issue a refund. According to the Los Angeles chapter of Black Lives Matter, the protests mark a new strategy targeting affluent neighborhoods. BLM saying, quote, "We won't let white folks with wealth retreat to their places of refuge," unquote. Very nice. Indeed, Santa Monica is one of the richest towns in the country. The median home price, $3.2 million. But now, because of its progressive attitude, real estate will certainly crater. And here's something else you might not know. Santa Monica may be one of the wealthiest cities in America, but it's also one of the most dangerous. Residents face a 1 in 100 chance of being the victim of a violent crime. The most popular offense? Theft. But there are legions of homeless, some of them armed, in Santa Monica. The locals pay more than $20,000 a year in property taxes. That's a lot of money for a front row seat to a riot, and lax law enforcement. Welcome to the revolution. Back after this. You know me as a news guy, but today I'm a science guy. I've accumulated my share of aches and pains over the years, which started my quest for a natural solution. I found it in Omega XL. The stuff works, and it has 30 years of research to prove it. Omega XL is a powerful natural anti-inflammatory supplement that helps relieve joint and muscle pain. There's nothing like it. Omega XL has health benefits way beyond joint comfort. Here's another reason I take Omega XL. Research shows that it can rebalance inflammation in the body and promote a healthy immune system, vitally important. So, please do 2 things today for yourself. Stay close to your loved ones and order Omega XL, the supplement that can deliver pain relief while improving your overall health. Order now and get a second bottle absolutely free of charge. Please go to omegaxl.com/bill. That's omega, the letters xl.com/bill. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.